Hello, it's very hot here in Los Angeles today. It's going to be 103 degrees. So I thought I would step inside and do something in the cool that I've been wanting to do for the entire season. Now that my tomatoes are mostly done and I'll be moving on to other fall and winter plants, I thought I would do a taste test of my tomatoes and really just see how they stack up against one another. I have used them all sort of indiscriminately in salads, and I made bread and used them in different frying and stewing capacities, but I really am not sure that I properly calibrated how I feel about each of them. So I'm going to do that today to see if, in fact, I want to plant some of the same ones next year. So let's start with the Austin Red Pear. The Austin Red Pear this year was a terrific producer. It was really prolific, lots of beautiful fruit. As you can see, it is pear-shaped. It is larger than a cherry tomato, so it's not quite a cherry, but it is not the size of a regular tomato. And I've been very happy with it. I've used it mostly in salads, although it is the tomato that I did pick because it was so prolific at one point. I did pick a bunch of them to make tomato bread with, which was very successful. So let me taste this one now and see what I'm thinking. Okay, it's lovely tasting. Has a little bit of a sweetness to it, a little bit acidic. It doesn't taste too unusual in any way, but I like it. We'll move on to the Dark Galaxy. The Dark Galaxy, of course, I have been raving about all season just because I love the way it looks. If you can see that its skin is purple, it begins purpley green spotted. It's called a galaxy because it's supposed to look like stars. The inside is, here you can see, this is sort of one of the last ones on the vine. It's not very crisp. You know, it looks a little mushy, and that might be because it is one of the last ones on the vine. And it's not a huge producer. I mean, there's been a few, maybe 2 dozen, but not a whole bunch of them. Not enough for me, as I did with the Austin Pear, to harvest and make something. But I've enjoyed it in salads, so let me taste it now. All right, so that was much sweeter than the Austin Pear. Lower acid, quite good. And I think maybe it would have been a little crisper earlier in the season, so okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now the next one is called Healthy Kick. The first two, the Austin Pear and the Dark Galaxy, are called indeterminate tomatoes. And that means that they grow indefinitely throughout the growing season. They just get bigger and bigger, and they send out shoots and continue to bloom and fruit. They do need staking or caging. So both of these at one point were in cages. Now the Healthy Kick is a determinate tomato, which means that it was bred to stop growing around 3 to 4 feet tall, and it in fact did do that. And the tomatoes generally ripen all at the same time. So they're great for canning, if that's what you're interested in doing. I'm not doing any canning this year. The Healthy Kick tomato is interesting because it's called Healthy Kick because it has high levels of lycopene, which is an antioxidant. So it's 50% more of the antioxidant than other tomatoes. So that's why it's called Healthy Kick. It is lovely and firm and large. It's about this, I would say it's a little bit bigger than a Roma, maybe a little bit bigger than a Roma tomato, almost the size of a Roma tomato. Looks very crisp. It's a lovely tasting tomato. It's not sweet. but it's like exactly what you want a tomato to taste like, and exactly what you would want to put in your salad. That was nice. The Sun Gold tomato, I have to say, is this. It's been my favorite the whole season. It is a cherry tomato, as you can see, but it has been extremely prolific. It is a beautiful color. I harvest it practically every day, literally every day. I've taken a few off the bush. I'm just going to pop this one in my mouth. This, I think I've said this before, is why tomatoes are considered a fruit. This Sun Gold tomato is so delicious and sweet. Yum. And the Sweet Million, this is the newer plant. I planted sort of late in the summer. I planted this before, and it's going to have large clusters of tomatoes on it, and let's just see why it's called Sweet Million. Yeah. It might be even a little bit sweeter than the Sun Gold, but I think I prefer the Sun Gold because there's just a tiny bit of tartness there that gives it a little kick. So there are my 5 tomatoes that I've had this year. I have been very pleased with all of them. I probably would definitely plant them again. The Dark Galaxy I planted mostly because it was unusual and because of the color. Although now that I tasted it today again by itself, I was very, very happy with that. So let's see. I'm going to think about how I'm going to grade them. I'll be back in 1 minute and you can see my rankings. All right, here's the judge's decision. I had to give the Sun Gold the #1 spot. I've just enjoyed them so much, off the bush, in the salad, just even now. It was just like my favorite thing. Then the #2 was the Austin Pear because it was so reliable and so many of them, and nice and crisp. Loved it. The Healthy Kick, I haven't had too many of them, so maybe I rated it a little bit high, but it was so delicious today. I had not really appreciated the lovely taste until today. The Sweet Million, I actually am just experiencing now. I've had them before, so I didn't rank them as high as I might have. And the Dark Galaxy is not last. I loved it. It provided such fun during the year because of its color, but as a tomato performer, I would say of the 5, it would be my least favorite. But I do want to thank it for all the lovely, fun, purple, starry nights that I saw during the summer. So there you go. There's my 2020 tomato rankings.